deepened the concerns of the investigating police that his story was not entirely factual. Forensics examiners then noticed that the blood splatters around the bedroom were not consistent with the story of self-defense that had been.
Now, guys, now,
Not only that, but
wait for you guys to start popping in so I can tell you some,
away from where the fatal shot
so I can
had
tell you
been
some
before
stuff going on. Woo!
that there was
Can't
no
wait.
doubt in their mind that Laquassa's body had been moved after she had been shot and killed. They also recognized that the murdered woman's fingerprints were indeed on the knife, but not clear enough to confirm that she had gripped the handle at all. It seemed likely that not only had Checkinson moved her body after he had
Oh,
killed
we got
her,
one in.
but he
Look
also
at
placed the knife in her hand in an attempt to make it appear as though she attacked him. When confronted with this evidence by homicide detectives, he admitted the truth. He admitted that he had wanted to kill his wife after he confronted her over a text message she received from a former boyfriend. He went on to confess how he had serious doubts that the child that Latoisa was pregnant with was actually his, and that the couple.
Guys, I'll wait for a few more people to pop in so I can show you some stuff.
Suspecting his wife, as well as countless previous girlfriends, of being habitually unfaithful.
I got something that I want to do, but I gotta be 30 people in my chat.
Regarding how the murder unfolded, telling police that he and his wife had gotten into a verbal altercation early on the Sunday morning about a text message she received from another man. Latoisa
I got something here I'm gonna do. Oh, I might regret doing it.
Belonged to him.
It might hurt me, but
Jealous of. But this did not calm Checkinson down.
I might regret doing this, but I'm looking at it there now, but oh man.
Smashing the screen and inflicting a heavy amount of water damage to the phone's motherboard. Latoisa then screamed at him, furious that he should essentially accuse her of.
I'll just wait till some of you guys pops in.
Now apoplectic with rage that his wife was not raising her voice to him, retrieved his pistol from the bedside drawer, aiming it at her head and pulled the trigger. Because he was shaking with anger, Checkinson's aim was poor. His first shot grazed his wife's skull, splitting off chunks of bone fragment that were later found by the forensic examiners. This first shot knocked her to the floor, stunning her. At this stage, she was absolutely no threat to anyone and presented absolutely no danger to her husband, horribly contradicting his initial story of self-defense. Then, as she lay face down on the bedroom floor of their small Fort Pierce apartment, Checkinson walked around the bed.
I'll wait till some of you guys pops in, starts popping in.
A text message to a close friend, informing them that he wouldn't be able to participate in fantasy football that season, as well as texts to his mother and brother telling them that he loved them. This wasn't just a murder. This was an execution, Assistant State Attorney Brandon White had later said at the murder trial. There was a good chance that any sane or rational individual would have come to their senses after the first shot was fired. It was a shot to the head, one that fractured a woman's skull. But Checkinson Sinclair actually stopped to check if his wife was still alive, and discovering that she was, fired another shot square into the back of her head, straight up execution style. Under Florida law, because Sinclair was convicted of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, the death of his unborn child also became a first-degree murder. Because Sinclair pled guilty, the state did not seek the death penalty and spared his life. And so he sits in a Florida penitentiary to this very day, to wonder of the life he might have led with his wife and child, had he not opted to pull the trigger on that fateful October morning. Little context, I am currently a senior in college and live off campus with my two best friends. This time of year, particularly around Thanksgiving, my friends try to help me stay busy as it is typically a difficult time for me. My mother left our family the week of Thanksgiving when I was 8 years old, and my dad passed away 5 years ago on November 22nd. So as I said, it's a pretty easy time of year to get myself down in the dumps if I don't stay active. Every year for the last 3 or 4 years, I have gone to one of my friends' houses to celebrate Thanksgiving with their families. But this past year, I decided I wanted to just stay home and have a mellow long weekend. I figured I could catch up on work as well as my schoolwork, which was pretty far behind. My roommates and I live particularly close to the university. We lived in a suburb about 15 to 20 minutes outside the city. This was nice because we didn't ever have to host any
Cool.
parties.
Big chicken
We just
nuggets.
attended near campus.
New type of big chicken nuggets.
Anyways, there was one house on our street that didn't quite match the others. It wasn't that the house was worse than the others, but it had no landscaping and desperately needed a fresh coat of paint.
Gone into
My roommate's
the
new
chicken
deal is
business.
he introduced himself when we moved in a few years back. His name is Jacob. He's about 5'6" and probably weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. Every time we've had an interaction with him, he was always very nice and polite. He even helped us fix our porch light when it broke last summer. He seems to be very cordial with everyone in the neighborhood and has helped numerous people with small hands.
Oh, I got two. Awesome.
On the Wednesday,
I'm waiting for a few people to pop in, so I can start talking to you guys.
They both asked several times.
Two, one, two, one.
I'd be fine by myself. I honestly thought I would be, and thought perhaps enough time had passed that I could just focus on other things and not dwell on the past. I stocked up on Mountain Dew so I could stay awake after my assignments to play some PlayStation. At about 9 or 10 p.m., I went up to my room to throw on some sweatpants and grabbed a blanket for my bed. I glanced out my window and saw Jacob sitting on his front porch with the two porch lights on. I didn't think anything of it and went downstairs into the kitchen and made a peanut butter and fluff sandwich. I would say I was in the kitchen for probably about 5 minutes or so, finishing eating and doing a few dishes. When I finally sat down to play some games, I thought I heard something hit the front bay window, so I went to take a look. At first, I didn't see anything, but then noticed that Jacob had now turned the porch lights off and was standing on his front lawn, staring at the house with his head tilted like he was looking towards the windows upstairs. A little creeped out, I tried calling one of my friends who knew I was still in town to see if she wanted to meet up or stop over to hang out for a little bit. She didn't answer, so I sat on the couch for a couple of moments trying to figure out what to do. He was still standing there staring and seemingly moving a few feet closer to our property each time I looked. Wasn't sure
What
what
do
to
you
do.
do when your
I
dog
called
grows old?
He hadn't done
When their
anything
feet are
except
tired
freak me out a
and
little,
their
and
pads are
to
worn?
this point, he hadn't even
When
stepped on
your
my
words
property.
of praise are hard to
After
hear,
another few minutes, I
and their
looked out
eyes
the
are
window
milky
again and saw
from all their
Jacob now on
years,
our lawn looking at the
and their
corner of the
faces
house.
change,
At least that's what
turning
it looked
gray.
like he was
What
staring
do you
at.
do when your dog
At this
grows
point, I
old?
wasn't sure what his intentions were, and I
You
didn't want
love
to find
them.
out.
You rub the
Perhaps I was
feet
blowing
that
this out of
carried them
proportion,
by
but
your
I
side.
was legitimately
You
scared.
praise them
I
louder
grabbed my
and
keys
harder.
and phone and a few
You
other
show them
items,
your pride.
thinking I would just drive to
You guide
campus.
them the way
Maybe
they
the
guided
library
you,
was still open,
and you
even
never
though we
let
were
them
off for
get
the
as
holiday.
lost as you once were.
I kept all the lights on so I
You
didn't
kiss their
seem like I was
nose
leaving
and
and
hold
decided
their
I was going to
face.
sneak out the back
And
door.
when it comes time to
As I
put them to
quietly
their
sneaked
final
through the
rest,
yard, I
you
turned
do
the
so
corner to
knowing
quickly get to
you
my
loved
car.
them
And there was Jacob, standing in
and
our
they loved you
driveway.
more.
I asked him what he was doing in the driveway, and he
They
put his
loved you
finger over
more.
his mouth to make a shh noise. I slapped him as hard as I could and made a run for it past my car. My instincts and adrenaline told me to just run until I found someone or someplace else. As I got about a block or two down the road, I saw a bunch of cop cars pull up towards the area of my house. Confused, I began to go back towards my house, thinking perhaps another neighbor saw Jacob stalking outside of my house and called the police. As I approached the house, one of the officers asked my name and if this was my residence. I confirmed the information, and what I heard next is still the most horrifying and disturbing information I had ever received. The officer stated that Jacob reported that he was on his porch when he saw me from across the street. He saw me walk out of my upstairs bedroom, and as I walked away out of the room, he saw a man come out of my closet. Apparently, that was why Jacob was looking in my room when I saw him the first time, and also why he was looking at the corner of the house. He was following the intruder who was now walking into my room.
Excuse me.
When I last saw him outside my house before I
Oh, how you doing?
Jacob stated that the random guy in my house had made it to
Oh,
the
sure
upstairs.
too.
Jacob was trying not to make any noise as not to alert the person inside, fearful he could be violent or dangerous. As soon as he saw me in the house,
I'm waiting for a few people to pop in, because look.
diffuse the situation.
Oh, look what I got.
The intruder. The person inside the house.
I gotta wait till 30 people pops in. If I don't get 30 people, I'm not doing it at all. I got the world's hottest peppers, and it's warning signs all over it.
By the way, I couldn't express to Jacob how much
Jelly
I
beans,
did
you meant to say.
He did. He even tried apologizing for how he handled
Ca-
the situation and stayed
Carolina Reaper.
everything he could
Look at that.
to make sure I was safe and
The hottest pepper in the world.
As
Oh,
so
boy.
this time of year that
Yeah.
would take a long time
Oh,
to get.
oh, oh. Look,
One thing I can be
on the
sure of
Scolbit test,
I would never spend
the
Thanksgiving
California Reaper
alone.
is right up on the blood red.
This happened not long
And it's
ago.
warning signs. There's a warning sign right here.
I live in New York City and I've had some
The
strange
warning right here.
experiences
It's telling me like
disturbing
it's
me.
extremely hot. Warning
When I was
right
around
there.
town, it was a summer night. I was at a pretty large
Yeah.
party. There was quite a lot of drinking and smoking,
Yeah.
which is expected at a party with a bunch of 14 to like 20
He's
year olds.
telling me it's
I'm pretty tall.
very, very hot.
Successful, and
Like,
I have a
holy
pretty good
moly.
voice.
Box is not even open.
I knew that I had to get home
Like,
on my own.
When I do this, I'm gonna have a lot of people on my live to do this, cause oh boy,
I realized that
I'm kind of afraid. Honestly,
it was
I'm kind of
anything
afraid to do this
Still,
because it's gonna be extremely hot. Holy moly! California Reaper is the hottest pepper in the world. Legit. Google it. Just Google it.
Car Rockaway in Queens. And I live in an apartment building on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, so I had a pretty long ride to get home.
Oh, Kevin, come on up, boy, and
I was no stranger
join
to
with
long
me.
commutes, so I would take the train every
Oh,
day.
and also wouldn't put you on YouTube very quick.
I had
Oh,
lunch at the
man.
Car Rockaway, Mott Avenue train station, and sat on one of the benches. There's a screen that says what time the train will be coming, and this late at night, it would be a while.
Yeah, I said peppers first. I meant jelly
The
beans.
screen showed a train.
Oh, man, on those it's not going to be hot. Holy
I waited
crap,
for a while
holy
longer
crap.
until I saw the headlights of the train coming down the tracks. The train arrived.
Carolina
Since this was the
Reaper.
first stop, I had to wait about another 10 minutes until it would actually leave the station. I got
Man,
on,
oh,
but
man, oh,
usually
man.
exited, leaving the car empty. I sat all the way at the end of the car, so I wouldn't be
Oh,
if anyone else got on.
habanero.
I was really, really tired.
That's hot.
I felt like I was about to just pass out right there, so I did it. For those of you that don't know,
Jalapeno.
city subway cars.
I can handle that. Jalapeno.
Each long side, which open at the station.
Cayenne.
Each
I can handle
side.
cayenne. Habanero. I think habanero is going to push me. Oh, that Carolina Reaper. Oh, boy. That's going to be. I'm not eating one till I get 30 people on my chat. And it's got to be staying on 30 people for a while. Fuck that.
No, man. Sorry.
Do that for a few people on chat. No way. If I don't get 30 people, I won't do it. It's not costing me money to have it, dear. It's
I don't.
not
Sorry.
going to cost me any money. It's already brought.
It was just a few 20s, and I wasn't
Yeah.
about to give this guy $20.
That's going to burn going down. Holy moly.
And walked away, still smiling.
Ooh,
Now, this didn't
BBQ.
strike me as weird.
Awesome.
Not yet, at least. I've been living in New York my whole life, and I got
You must watch South Park.
on the
Yeah,
subway
silly
for
goose.
money. I looked out at the stop I was at. I was just in Brooklyn. The A train
Are you a
was
silly
nice.
Billy?
My ride was a little longer than usual.
Silly
I
Billy.
figured I still had a pretty long way before I got to the 42nd Street in Manhattan, where we transferred to the Q train that brought me to the
Don't
station.
do this, son. Don't do that.
So,
I don't touch this, son. Don't touch that.
when I woke up again,
Sexual harassment.
West Ford,
Honda.
Street.
Oh my God. Holy jeez. That's on South Park. That is actually on South Park.
There was a guy sitting there, head down, muttering to himself. I was pretty sure it was the same guy that had asked me for money before.
Huh?
I thought that was a little weird, but I wasn't nervous or anything. I just figured he had some sort of mental illness.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
After a little while.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Kevin and many more.
The station is huge, and I needed to go all the way to the other side of the station.
Yeah.
From the A train side on 8th Avenue to get to where the Q train was on 7th Avenue. Walking through the huge station.
Are you related to
passage that
Matt?
takes you from one side to
No.
the other.
I don't know any Matts. Sorry.
It was eerily quiet. For
The only Matt I know is a doormat out in the porch. That's it.
The only
I'm not related to any Mets.
late night visitors from those people.
Matt, doormat. Oh my God.
When I got to the platform, there were only maybe 3 or 4 others.
Yep, my old lamb back. Oh, I likes me lamb. Ooh, lamb and jams.
I looked up and saw that there was a guy a little further down the platform inside from where I came from, standing there, muttering to himself, like having a full-on conversation. I couldn't make out his face from where I was sitting, but I was sure it had to be the same homeless guy that I'd seen on the A train.
I got the message.
Was he following me? The train arrived after a few minutes and I got on. I'd only have a few stops from where I was to my apartment, so there was no point in trying to sleep.
Hey Jerry, yeah, it's Tess. We're gonna have a fire night. If you're more than welcome to come up to join us if you want to, because we're gonna take it easy tomorrow night. So we're gonna go for one Sunday morning. Yeah, you can pop up
I
anytime.
tried not to look
All
at
right.
him to avoid eye contact. He was still mumbling to himself, and now I could pick up on some things he was saying. Random phrases like, should I? Maybe.
I'm on YouTube Live there now, and I won't be coming up because I'm getting up 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, heading to Grand Falls, Windsor. I'm going gold panning, so 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm getting up and I'm gone. So yeah, I won't be coming up, but it's always next week. Okay?
When I got to the street level, I started walking faster towards my apartment. The station was on 72nd Street. I still had to walk a few blocks further up to get to
And
my
I
apartment.
go in your place.
I looked back a few times to
No.
see the man.
We know you.
Speaking pretty loudly now. I was honestly more annoyed than scared at this point. Maybe it was the tiredness. Maybe it was the little bit of liquid courage left in me, but I was seriously done with this guy's stuff. So I stopped walking, turned around and said, "Hey, can I help you? I just want some money. I know you got some." "Listen, I don't. Leave me alone or I'm calling the cops." He said something about how I don't know all the stuff that he's
Sorry, Tess, I can't take it there up. I'm after having 3 drinks, so I don't drink and drive. Everybody knows that. And I can't take it there up now. I just had like 3 drinks. So sorry to tell you that, but like I said, it's always next week. Okay?
I asked if I'd heard about what happened last night. I hadn't told anyone about the incident yet, so I said I didn't know what he was talking about.
They invited me up to
Apparently,
a fire. Oh man,
was coming back.
I opened it too soon.
Job or something. Called the police because there was a man lying outside.
But see, guys,
the apartment.
It's like this. I had this plan for 3 weeks. 3 weeks I had this plan. So I ain't stopping for no one. And I'm only having a few drinks. I'll have probably a dozen or more, and that's it. Not much.
I assumed the guy that he was referring to was the guy that I had encountered last night.
That is a big glass. But my hands are so huge it covers the full damn thing. People says down to work, there's a guy named Sean down to work, so I picks up a full a can of Pepsi. I buries a full can of Pepsi. And I looked at Sean. Sean said, "Geez," he said, "that big old can of Pepsi in your hands looks right tiny." Yeah. That's my buddy Sean. I can't say no last names.
He lives in Hayward and was attending a march for the BLM movement at around 4 p.m. I think.
Ooh, 4 people.
Streets were specific like that.
Wicked. I'll be doing the jelly beans. Yeah. I need 26 more people to join.
There was an older man sitting on a curb by one house.
26 more people to join, and then I'll be doing them jelly beans. Oh my God. That's gonna friggin' burn. Oh, it's not even open. Not even took out the pack. I don't even know what the jelly beans looks like. Honest to God, I don't even know what the jelly beans looks like. Oh my God, my face is gonna be so red and it's gonna burn. Holy crap.
examined. It was a black Chevy
I'll probably throw up me
Malibu,
supper.
the most scariest part of the alley.
Well, all he had was Kraft dinner.
Kind of hidden by
That's
the
all.
fence.
That's all they had.
Jordan
I only had Kraft dinner, so I'll only throw up macaroni and cheese. That's
For
it.
goodness sake, I wish the story ended here, but I wouldn't be posting it here. if it
But
did.
boy, it's always next
I think
time.
sometime later, like an hour maybe, Jordan decided to start heading home while the march continued. He says he was cutting across. the
Oh, look
field
what I got too.
between houses
Ooh,
where
not even open.
sight. And as
Look,
soon as he
pack's
arrived
not even
outside,
open.
His air was suddenly cut off.
Ouija board.
Thick arm
Mysterious,
wrapped around his
mysterious,
throat, aggressively yanked
steering
him backwards.
mints.
Of course, Jordan yelled
Mis-
as loud as he could.
Mystifying mints.
Began to rush to his aid.
Ooh, I don't even know what they're like because I never even opened the pack.
The guy that fell as Jordan
I don't even know what they're like.
He spun around and saw the guy who had asked him for help with his car.
That's what the pack looks like.
Malibu and speeding off.
The bag of
The
it.
two other people asked Jordan if he was okay and comforted him and whatnot. Keep
It's a
in
phone
mind,
number there.
He told me this over a few texts, and I haven't gotten a
Hey.
chance to talk to him in public about
Geez,
it. so
that's not phone number. Fuck, that's a serial
I think
number.
Jordan contemplated calling the police, but
Uh,
didn't think it was worth it. He told me that they were probably already busy enough.
There's an address there, I know that.
Extremely
Boston.
response time to which
That's made in Boston. Holy crap.
He hadn't gotten the guy's license plate. Jordan went home, and that's pretty much all he told
Well,
us.
guys, tell people about the live stream and get people on here so I can,
Everyone stay safe. These are terrible times. And with all
so I
the
can,
presence,
what's the name?
stuff like this is bound to happen in the shadows. Like all women, I have a fair amount of creepy experiences.
Ooh, I got my window open. Holy moly, feels some good too.
One of my more
Yeah.
memorable stories happened when I was a student. For context, I went to university in France and spent a few months doing an internship in Paris, where this encounter took
Grand
place.
Falls, Windsor. How far away is
I was
Grand
18
Falls,
years old,
Windsor?
and so, it being a Friday night, I was on my way to meet some friends at a
How
restaurant.
far away is Grand Falls,
The
Windsor
hotel
from my
was in
home?
close proximity to a couple of metro stops. And the line I
The
knew
town of
was
Grand Falls,
along a
Windsor.
pretty busy
Here you
street.
go.
When I was only a block from the stop, a guy
Uh,
looking to be about my age suddenly approached me, asking me if I knew where the metro stop was. I indicated the large yellow M.
holy
above the
crap,
stop.
4 hours and 5
That
minutes.
would be the end of our conversation.
Woo!
Instead, he fell into step with me, explaining that he wasn't from the city and didn't know the train.
Look at that. That's where I'm to now. All the way down there, 4 hours and 5 minutes. Oh boy, that's a long drive. So I leave here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll be down there at 9 o'clock. Perfect, right in the morning. Yeah,
When the guy you just met on the street one night commented,
that's awesome, man. I can't wait to go down. Holy crap.
I confirmed, though, that I wasn't French, and we actually ended up having a decent conversation as we walked to the metro stop, down the stairs, and through the turnstiles. During that first, and what would turn out to be our only conversation, he seemed nice enough and didn't set off any red flags. I told him where I was from and what I was studying, and he told me that he was in the city visiting some friends. We ended up getting on the same train, though even then I questioned whether he was actually going to
Spend your
stay
spay
or not,
forecast.
and kept talking until my stop. Right before I got off,
It's
the
20
train,
and
he
mostly
asked for my
cloudy.
number so that we
Tonight,
could
the
meet
forecast is around
Holy
16 degrees
crap.
and cloudy.
Completely out of character for me, as is talking to strangers. I did.
Grand Falls, Windsor.
He
Forecast.
asked me that Sunday, asking if I wanted to meet
It's
with him.
22 and mostly cloudy.
I agreed.
Tonight, the forecast is around 18 degrees and mostly cloudy.
For anyone who doesn't know,
Ooh.
Charlotte is an enormous metro stop near the center. of
27 degrees
Paris.
where I'm going.
Lines run through it.
Holy
Trains
moly.
Go out of the city proper.
27 degrees.
Shopping mall.
Oh,
I started to
that's
feel
going to
uneasy.
be hot
My
down
intuition
there.
told me that there was something wrong with wanting to meet up in a place that had so many ways in.
That is going to be hot, hot, hot.
Got on a certain train or were forced to do so, no one could find me. My mind tends to jump to worst case scenarios, but my gut is never wrong. In any case,
I better have sunblock.
benefit of the doubt, as he submitted
That's for
to the
sure.
city that
I better
well.
have
So I
sunblock.
told him that Chatelet was pretty big and it might be hard to find each other in there. I suggested meeting up at the bookstore in the connected mall, still a public place but less hectic. But he didn't seem to like the idea and stopped replying to my messages. The next day, Monday, I was on my way to a meeting with my boss when my phone buzzed and I saw it was a text message from him. Can you call me now? Another message came in. Or can I call you? My intuition spoke up again in the back of my mind, telling me that something still wasn't right. I replied, I'm going into a meeting right now. Let me get back to you. With that, I turned my phone all the way off and didn't turn it back on again until after the meeting was over. And
Kevin, hey, Kevin.
An hour and a half later.
If I get 30 people here, I'm going to be,
uncontrollably with several.
I am going to be doing the world's hottest jelly beans.
I only scanned them. There being so many, but they seemed to range from proposing that we meet at a friend's house on Wednesday night to
Yes, guys, you heard me right. I got the world's hottest jelly beans.
Call notifications all from his number.
And if I can get 30 people here in chat, because
so when his number popped up on the screen again,
that's going to be hard on my system.
Until I reached the apartment. Once again, I dare turn it back on and saw even more missed texts and calls from him. Pretty spooked at this point, I shoved the phone back into my purse and made dinner, not even looking at the phone until well after I'd eaten. Once I could stomach it, I took the phone out of my purse.
Oh my God.
I saw that he had called me no less than 16 times, and that his text messages had become more and more vulgar before ending with a final, fine, I guess this isn't working out. Maybe I'll see.
Oh man, some freaking, ooh, I got 5.
I've never blocked a number so fast in my life and immediately called my mom. I could barely hold the phone again, though this time it was because I was shaking so badly.
I did,
To this day, I can't help but feel that I dodged something extremely dangerous.
but I didn't name it, say what I,
Someone who was probably
Well,
just
I-
looking for a girl to take advantage
I named it wrong,
He
but
jumped the
yeah.
chance when he met a young
Oh, wait a
woman in
second.
big city.
And that's what I could do.
Still
I could
not
share
what
this to
possessed me to
Facebook.
give him my number, but I consoled
Yeah.
myself with the fact that I didn't tell him I was living near that metro stop where he approached me. I just have a feeling that
I'm sharing it to Facebook there now, so
the
yeah.
lesson that I've taken away from this incident, aside from never giving my number out ever again, is to always trust my gut. She saved me before, saved me that day, and will most likely do it again. Back in 2005, I was 15 years old, and like any teenage girl, my main source of income was babysitting. I mainly babysat for 2 families. Family A, which was every Monday and Wednesday for 4 hours in the afternoon, and Family B, which was different evenings when the parents had events they wanted to go to. The moms of the 2 families were first cousins, and the mom of Family B used to babysit myself and my sisters when we were little. All of us, myself, Family A, and
Wicked.
Family B,
I gotta
lived
share it to
within a 5-mile
Facebook.
radius of each other
Yeah,
in the Michigan
yeah.
countryside. On the night my story takes place, I was babysitting.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the world's hottest jelly beans.
In the middle of summer with some children.
World's hottest jelly beans, guys. They got Carolina Reaper jelly beans. Oh boy.
Downstairs and said he couldn't sleep.
I'm feeling good. I must be feeling good if I'm going to be doing that to my stomach. Yeah.
He went right back to sleep. Shortly after he came down, the phone rang. I looked at the caller ID. I saw it was my home calling.
That's a movie I'm going to watch. Old. It's called Old. OLD.
Basically boiled
Oh
down
my
to this.
God.
Hey, so there's an escaped convict in the area. Police are out looking for him. So if you hear police sirens or a helicopter, don't be alarmed. And then he hung up. I, quite frankly, was terrified. Babies in the house that I had to protect.
23rd, that movie's coming out. I'm going to share it to
He
Facebook.
was warning me that it was going to rain.
I just shared it
I
to
had no idea
Facebook.
what this man had
Oh,
done to be chased by the police, but it had to be bad. I went looking around the house for something to defend us with. All I had were kitchen knives, no baseball bat, no crowbar, and no access to the gun in the safe. I ended up calling my dad and asking him to come stay with me. He actually thought I was being ridiculous, but I didn't care. I felt better. Thankfully, nothing happened. When the parents got home an hour later, my dad explained why he was there. The mom was very understanding and showed me how to get into the gun safe and where the bullets were. Like I said, she was our babysitter growing up, and she was basically my older sister. She was, and still is, a big believer in the Second Amendment and self-defense. But my story didn't end there. That next Monday, I was babysitting for Family A, which had two girls, 4 years and 2 years old. The older girl was telling me a story about someone in the backyard and how they couldn't go back in their house and had to stay outside all night. When the mom got home, I asked her about it. It turns out that the previous Friday, the police had been at their house until the wee hours of the morning. Family A's neighbor had a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend for domestic violence, and he had shown up at her house.
Oh, I lost a view.
She called the cops, and he had fled into the property of Family A because he had several arrest warrants out. The police kept Family A out of their house for safety reasons while they searched the area.
Come on, guys, tell other people.
Took him to jail.
You will do the hottest jelly beans in the world if I guess 30 people watching.
Unfortunately, he never got close to Family B's house. That incident was the start of me being more proactive in safety.
Guys, I'm going to Grandfather's Windsor tomorrow.
Weapons were, and to make sure I-
Gander or Grandfather's Windsor.
If something like that ever happens again, I know I will handle the situation much better. I'm a 17-year-old girl who goes to the local high school here. I never really had much dating experience, but this guy clearly didn't have much.
Volume.
When the story takes place, I was around.
Geez, I almost got 2,000
For
people.
some quick
Holy
context,
shit.
in my state, you are legally allowed to date someone under 18, so long as you are 2 years older or younger. Meaning that someone who is 16 can date an 18-year-old. But
Yeah, I almost got 2,000 friends on Facebook.
Serious
Oh,
consequences.
that's a
I've
lot.
been a part of a classroom that we refer to as BMC, which is a class for kids with behavioral issues such as anger or depression. I've been a part of this program since middle school, but never have I been through a person quite like this. I normally keep to myself, listening to my music at a deafening volume, and because of this, I never had friends in that classroom, especially since this was during my freshman year and sophomore year. I was nowhere near popular during that time, yet I did happen to get several desperate guys approaching me. Normally I would reject them, yet for some reason this time I didn't. Maybe it was pity.
Holy fuck.
I was waiting at the far end of the bus loop one day, given the fact that my bus was a special needs bus. As I was listening to music, I saw a boy approach me. He was bigger in size, always seemed to wear the exact same superhero shirt and jacket. I still to this day don't even know if he even washed it. For this story, we'll call him Freddy, mainly because he reminded me of the freaky animatronic. Anyway, he came up to me and told me that he had a crush on me, despite me not even knowing his name prior to this.
Guys, look at this.
I was a little creeped out by this, so I was a little lost in terms of words. He asked for my number. I said yes, but then what he said next later gave me goosebumps. This is very important to keep in mind. Don't tell your parents, he said. I asked why, and all he said was, I could get in trouble. At this time, I was very gullible and thought, in trouble when he doesn't know.
Isn't that a funny
See,
dog?
I'm autistic.
You're tongue-hanging
I
at
had
some
a
of them.
feeling he was as well. Before you go,
Hey, but this
on,
one.
if he really
Look at this one.
doesn't know any better, I should tell you that just because someone is autistic doesn't mean that they are dumb or can't be manipulated. Even people with mental
Imagine
illness
rolling
have a
over
bit of a bad
to something like that.
I know that from experience. With
Holy
friends
jeez.
and others. When I gave him my number, we small talked for a small bit until my bus finally arrived. Even at the time, I was so relieved to see my driver to see that I would escape Freddy. So I bid my goodbyes and he waved. He then said to me, I love you. I nearly vomited at that statement. I gave him a bewildered look and he asked, Too soon? Yeah, too soon, I confirmed. I hurried onto my bus and sat down. I tried to avoid looking in the window so I didn't have to look at him. Once again, he was far from attractive or even hygienic. I soon got blown up by texts from him to the point that I had to turn off notifications for his texts. But then when I did respond, he would complain and ask why I wasn't responding. When I said I was busy, he would just ask when I would be done. When I told him I didn't know in order to buy myself some time away from him, he'd just text me 10 to 15 minutes later asking if I was done. Clingy people were my biggest turnoff, especially since I was that person at one point as well. I know that being on the receiving end of that sort of affection can be very uncomfortable. When I finally had enough, I casually told my parents the whole story. They panicked and told me to block him while they contacted my BMC manager. The next day, my BMC manager called me to see her privately. She explained that even though he was a senior, he had attempted to pull these things off with several girls before me. She explained that he knew full well what he was doing and that I had to stay away from him. I got scolded by her and family that next time. I should communicate what was happening.
Now,
Especially given the fact that this boy was far from the first boy to attempt to take advantage of
I'm going to end this live stream because no one on here, and I'm going on Facebook Live, okay? To play some songs.
I still am too gullible.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Love you all.
Asking all,
Bye.
regardless of your gender, to consider what it is you feel.
Excuse me.
If you don't want to follow your gut or